Hello everyone, welcome to SQL Server DBA tutorial. In this video, we are going to learn configure failover cluster, storage controller, and quorum configuration for the SQL Server always on availability groups. So in this article, explore the configuration of the Windows failover cluster, storage controller, and quorum configuration for the SQL Server always on availability group. So prerequisites is that in this series of articles, we'll configure the SQL Server always on availability group from end to end from your learning purpose. We'll cover the following topics in the previous articles videos. A comprehensive guide to the SQL Server always on availability groups of the SQL Windows Server 2016 Data Center Edition. So we installed the 3 VMs. We did that, and with the installation of the SQL Server, Windows Server, the desktop experience, we cover the VM network adapter configuration, and second part is configure the domain controller and Active Directory of the SQL Server always on availability group. And in that we install and configure the domain controller, Active Directory, and DNS, assigned static IP, and all VMs join the SQL nodes to the chirags.in domain. So already we did. Now we are going through that. So to follow the long better, try to go over this previous videos articles. Therefore, proceeding with this one. Failover cluster configuration SQL Server always on availability groups. We require a minimum 2 nodes of the failover cluster. We have a 2 nodes, 5 and 6. These are the 2 nodes we have, and the always on availability group. So we have a total, we have 3 servers we are working with that. First we have a SQL node 1, then SQL node 2, then third is the VDI test 3. This is the domain controller and Active Directory. Now we have a requirement to set up the Windows failover cluster for the node SQL node 1 and SQL node 2 for so launch add roles and feature wizard from the server manager, enable the failover cluster features in the both the SQL nodes. So I'm going through that. Go to the node 1. This is my node 1. I'm going to there is a add roles and features. So click on that. Go to the next. So there is a option is there, failover cluster. So let me search that directory. Okay, in next there is a failover clustering. Okay, so click on the failover clustering, add the features. So what I'm doing there, I'm set up the failover cluster features on node 1 and node 2. This is my node 1. See, node 1 chirags.in node 1. So select that, go to the next and install. And I'm going to do the same thing with the second server. So this is my second server, node 2. Click on that. See, there is a SQL node 2. Next. Failover clustering is there. Add features. Next. Install. So installation in process. One, you enable the features, both the nodes search the launch failover clustering from the start menu. It currently shows the no item which be found on the configuration cluster yet. So let it complete. Yeah, installation is succeeded. Click on close. Go to the tool. There is a failover cluster manager. So click on that. One more thing I forgot to add that one. So that is the disk management. Go to the disk management. I have only one disk now. Till now I have only one disk. See, So I'm going to add another diff. If you have available, then add. So click on online, right click on that, initialize this. So I need the mbr, click on OK, click on next. Later on we can do this one, that's not an issue. And allocate this one for the D drive. I'm doing the same thing with the both the server. This is also completed. So first keep online, then initialize this. I'm going to mbr, click on OK, right click on that. I'm just changing the path for the my DVD drive. Slide this, next. Go to the first one. So this is my failover cluster manager. In the failover cluster manager, we don't have any cluster. So before proceeding the folder, sorry. So before proceeding the further, need to check the both the nodes are connected or not. Right click on that, cmd ping SQL node 2. Yeah, its ping is working. Let me ping from the node 2 to node 1. cmd ping SQL node. This is a 2, so I'm going to ping into 1. So yeah, it's working. So both the node are working with that. Go to the node 1. So after the ping, if ping is not working, is assume that ping is not working, so then go to the your firewall and just turn off the firewall. I already did the firewall. There is a turn on and turn off the firewall option is there. If you click, there is a turn off the firewall option will be there. So turn off the firewall for now. Please do not disable the firewall, only that only the turn off. And this part is completed. Now validate the configuration of SQL Server always on group. So there is an option is validate configuration is there also. So click on the validate configuration. Next. So there is a name, so I'm going to add the both the servers. So click on that. Okay, and now so admin, click on OK. So I'm going to selecting the both the nodes and edit. Go to the next, run all the test. Go to the next. So here we can see this all the settings. We have a list of the setting. I'm clicking the next. This is going to validate. So validations in process. So same thing I have to do with the server 2. So I'm going to the server 2, failover cluster manager, validation, Next, I'm going to add the domain users, ad admin, so both the nodes are there. Go to the next, run all the test. Next, so next, I'm going to the node 1. It will take some time to validate that, so wait for some time. We are about to complete it, my validation. So the test the test is passed. Okay, so if you want to see the report, then click on the report. So this is my report. So all the some warnings is there, but validations is passed. So all the nodes name and everything will come with that. So all the details will be there. If you want to keep saves, and you can print this detail and keep print as a PDF and keep the details. So that will be for the future purpose. I'm printing that. Validation report. Close that. So now create the cluster using the validation node. So click on that, click on finish. Go to the next. Here I will put the cluster name. So my cluster name is SQL availability group AG and cluster CLU. So I'm giving that, and I have to add the IP address here. So here I'm giving the IP address. So we are using up to 7. So I'm giving here 8. So this is my new IP address. So IP address should be in same way. So one or more IP address should be configured automatically. So go to the next. So this is my cluster settings. So this is my cluster name, this is both the nodes, and this is the IP address for that. So I'm keeping this IP address for future use. Notepad SQL ability group CLU IP address is 10.253. Sorry, 93.253.8. Go to the next. And go to the node 2. There is some error. What is the error? I'll do it again later. Let me complete the first one. So you successfully completed the create cluster wizard. So this is the node 1. Always remember that whenever you have a doubt, go with the IP address. Let me finish that. See, In my cluster manager, now we can able to see current host server is SQL node 1 and other things are there. So if you go to the node, both the node will be available there. Okay. Now I'm going to check the roles. So we don't have the roles till now. So we can configure the cluster as a this one. So now let me later we will do the next thing. So now I'm going to check the enable the ISKG features on domain name controller of SQL Server always on availability group. So I'm going add and roles. Go to the again add and roles. Go to the next. Here we have a ISKG. For that, let me check inside the previous one. Go to the okay here we have a ISKG target server. I'm adding this again. Install. So installation is completed. We need the configuration the ISKG target server now, and for the purpose in this server manager click on the file and storage. We have a the ISKG might be incomplete communication with the for the error. The configuration incomplete. Maybe I need a restart, I think. Roles node and cluster nodes might be offline or continuity issue. Following the cluster node 1, node 2. Okay, so let me complete the node 2. So validate, next. Ready admin. Okay. In the domain name server, I need the features ISKG. So go to the next. Here we have ISKG target server. Go to the next. next install. Let me install that. So actually by mistake I installed the skg features on the node 1, but we need in domain name server. That's not a problem, leave it. So installation is succeeded. Now let me go to the files and features. There is a skg. So create the skg virtual disk, start the new virtual drive. So click on this. So in D drive I'm going to create. If you have only one drive, then you can create on that. And I'm going to specify the virtual disk name. Disk name is data. So this will be the location D. There is a iskg virtual disk data.bhds. So click on next. I'm giving approx 20 GB for now, and I'm selecting the fixed size. Okay, for that I'm going to the next. So here I'm new iskg target. Click on next, giving the name SQL. Click on next. So here specify the iskg initiator. So we will be access the iskg virtual disk. So click on add. So this server enter the for the selected type. So I'm going to add IP address 10.93.253. And this is the first IP address, node 1. Click on OK. Again I'm going to add same thing, enter, and IP address 10.93.253.6. So I'm adding both the server. Click next. So no need to change anything here. Click on next. This is my selection. So VDI test 3 is there, not cluster, and this is the path for the VHDC. Say data size I'm giving 20 GB, and this is the name of the target property SQL. This is the 2 IP addresses, and click on create. So completed. So initializing is going on. So after this we'll go to the both the nodes and we'll just check the iskg initiator. Okay, so not connected but initialized. Now I'm going to the node 1. So it's completed. Okay, to finish this, I'm going to the node 1. There is your option iskg initiator. Click on that. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to refresh this one. So here I will write the 10.93.253.7. So go to the quick connect. See, so login successful. Click on OK, done, and click on OK. So let me go to this server node 2 skg initiator. Yes. 10.93 dot 10 yeah 93.253.7. Quick connect, login successful, done. Okay, now I'm going to the node 1 again. Let me check the disk management. $20 allocated. Right click on that. Okay, online, initialize disk, mbr, this one, next, e drive. I'm putting the e drive. Go to the next. I'm giving the name, log. So next, finish. Now see, 20 GB is the added to that. So this is my disk. Same thing do with the node 2. Go to the disk management. First initialize online the disk. Okay, refresh. Okay, online, then okay, already automatically added to the drive. Now next we are going to add this one, add the disk to as a cluster resources. I'm going to add the disk to the cluster resources. So click on the disk. Okay, storage disk. Now let me go through that. Server volume, failover cluster manager, storage disk. Now add disk. Yeah, cluster disk available is there. Click on OK. Disk is added. Let me check in the node 2. Storage disk. See, cluster disk is added also here. So this is SQL cluster group. Okay, both are in same group now. See, after adding this disk, I'm going to add the going to cluster quorum configuration. So next part is, so quorum is the essential and critical component of the Windows failover cluster. Okay. So a quorum keeps running the failover cluster based on the majority of votes of the group. It uses the voting mechanism to check the nodes, and majority is help the avoid a split brain scenario where none of the nodes want the resources. So now I'm going to do that. So we have a following quorum configuration in Windows Server: node majority, node and disk majority, node and file sharing majority, node no majority, and dynamic quorum configuration. So here I'm going to add that. So right click on the cluster name. So this is my cluster name. More action and configuration cluster quorum setting. So it will run the launch the configuration quorum wizard. Go to the next. I'm going with the advanced quorum configuration here. Go to the next. So here we can select decide which node do the voting the failover cluster configuration. By default, all the failover cluster nodes are voting eligible. So both are in status up. So now I'm going to the select the next. Here I'm configure the file share witness. So witness I'm going to do that. So before doing giving the path of that, I will create the witness folder for the witness. Go to that. In D drive, I'm creating one folder name is, and giving files system fs share. Right click on property, sharing, advanced sharing, share, permission, let me add the count, add admin. Okay, I'm giving the full control to add admin. Click on apply and okay, apply. Okay, this is my file share path. I'm going to close this path and copy that path and go to the node 1. I'm giving the path. Go to the next. Now access denied for the share folder. Okay, let me check the access permission again. Sharing, advanced sharing, permission. Node 1. Yeah, it's working now. Enable. So next and finish. So this part is completed. In this part we learn configure the failover cluster, storage controller, quorum configuration for the SQL Server Always-On group. Okay, so this article explored the configuration of Windows Server. We did this thing, and we have already 3 servers. We are doing with the 3 servers, and we launched we did the all the configuration. So go one by one with the configuration. It will help you out, and you will able to see the all the configuration in both the nodes. So go there, refresh. Witness server is also there. Okay. So node, and if you click on the node, you will be able to see the node 1 is up, node 2 is up, and here also you can see both the nodes are up. So this tutorial also completed this part, configuration part. So hope this will help. In next video we'll go to the install the SQL Server 2019 in this Windows Server configuration 2016 with the SQL Server always on availability groups. So thank you for watching. Hope this will help. Thank you.